Hey guys, this is Mr. Riz here to help you out on the next part, our final part of factoring here, trinomials. So factoring trinomials are nice, but we have to watch out for when our coefficient is not equal to 1. So when it's equal to 1, we can make our little x, and it's actually not too bad. What we have to do here is when it doesn't equal 1, when we actually have a number in front of the x squared, we have to do two techniques. The first technique is the GCF, which actually comes out to be nice. So if we can use the GCF, do that. If not, we're going to discuss the slip and slide technique. Okay, so what we're going to do here in this first one here is let's look for GCF if we're going to factor this. Okay, is there a number we can divide 2, 14, and 20 all by? Yeah, we can divide them all by 2. All right, and so when we do that, we get, okay, divide that by 2, that becomes a 1x squared, and that becomes a 7x, and that becomes a 10. Now that we have that, we can look at this inner part here, and we can do our normal factoring x here and see, okay, what two numbers multiply together to give us 10, add together to get 7. So take a second, think about that. Those two numbers would be 5 and 2. And so we still would leave the 2 on the outside here. But now we're going to break this trinomial down into two factors. One would be x plus 5, and the other one would be x plus 2. And that's all we're doing. We're not solving this. I mean, we could. We've just set each part equal to 0, but that's all we do with factoring. All right, so if you want to try this next one here, look for GCF. Trust me, you technically don't need to do the GCF, but if you can do it, it's going to make the guessing and checking a whole lot easier. All right, so is there a number we can divide 3, 3, and 18 by? Yeah, we can divide them all by 3. So when we divide this by 3, this becomes a 1x squared, a minus 1x, and a minus 6. Parenthesis is way out of line, but you know, it's okay. All right, so now we're going to see, okay, what two numbers multiply together to give us negative 6? We don't care about this negative 18 anymore. We're looking at just this inside part and add together to get a negative 1 in the middle. That would have to be a negative 3 and a positive 2. So we still leave this 3 that we GCF factored outside. And all we're doing is breaking this trinomial into two different factors. And the one's going to be our x minus 3 from that number there. And the other number is x plus 2 from our positive 2. Okay, so GCF factoring is just like trinomial factoring, except for we have to look for that number at the beginning. All right, we ready to switch gears, talk about slip and sliding? Let's do it. All right, so next, what's going on here? Clear all the drawings. What do we do if there's a number that we can't divide by and there's still a number in front? Okay, so here's the trick. We look at this next problem here. We have a 5, a 27, and 10. We can divide 5 and 10 both by 5, but we can't divide 27 by. We don't want to use decimals at all. So what we're going to have to do is use our slip and slide technique. So our slip and slide technique is going to start out the same way, but what we're going to do is we're actually going to multiply 5 times 10, and that would be 50. The middle number, we're not going to change at all, so that's going to be 27. So first off, notice how it's different when we set this problem up here. We're not just going to do what two numbers multiply together to give us 10, but we have to multiply 5 times 10. Technically, we do this with a regular trinomial. We just have a 1 in front of the x squared. If we multiply it, still it's going to be the last number. All right, so we're going to think about what those two numbers are. And those two numbers are, let's see, that'd be 25 and 2, right? 25 times 2 is 50. 25 plus 2 is 27. So we would normally write x plus 25 and then x plus 2. But that's just setting it up. The next thing we need to do is we need to look at this number in front, and we're going to divide our answers by that number. So when we divide that answer by that number, we're going to do one of two things. We're either going to simplify it if it can simplify, or we're going to slide it over if it does not simplify. So does 25 divide by 5? It sure does. And that becomes x plus 5. 25 divided by 5 is 5. Does 2 divide by 5? Nope. So we're going to slide this on over in front of the x and make this a 5x plus 2. There we go. We factored this expression. Remember, the whole goal of factoring, is to go through, is to just double check, if we had to go back and turn this into a FOIA problem, what would we get? And yeah, x times x is 5x squared. And x times 2 is 2x. 5 times x is 25x. 5 times 2 is 10. If we add those together up, we get our problem at the beginning. So remember, our goal of factoring is how do we take something that wasn't in parentheses and put it into parentheses. All right, let's keep practicing this one here. Go through these techniques. So we cannot divide 10, 23, and 2 all by the same number. So we need to multiply the 10 times the 12. Okay, so that's 120. We're going to get a negative 23. All right, so these are probably both going to be negative numbers. Right? Yeah. All right, what two numbers multiply together to give us 120 add together to equal 23? All right, it is not 12 and 10. That's 22. Let's see, 120. I'm going to just get a calculator out. It's 120 divided by 9. No, 120 divided by 15. 15 and 8. There we go. All right, so it's going to be a negative 15 and a negative 8. All righty, so we would get x minus 15 and x minus 8. All right, so now we're going to divide it by the number in front. We had a number in front, so we need to do that. So we need to simplify. So we're not just going to slide these on over because 15 doesn't divide by 10 and 8 doesn't divide by 10. We need to simplify those. 15 over 10 reduces to 3 over 2. And 8 over 10 reduces to 4 over 5. Now that we got that, we can slide it on over. So we simplify and slide. And we would get a 2x minus 3 and a 5x minus 4. All righty. So definitely kind of switching up gears here, but it's just really the, like 1 or 2 extra steps of what we've been doing. 2 more problems here. If you want to pause the video to try them on your own, you can. No, I'll go ahead and get these started here. So once again, always look for a GCF if there is one. We were close, but 15 doesn't divide by 2. So we multiply the 2 times the 8 and we get 36. Add together to get the middle number 15. All right, what two numbers multiply together to get 36? Add together to get 15. That'd be 12 and 3. All right, so we got an x plus 12 and an x plus 3. We have to remember, though, since we did this extra technique, we got to divide everything by 2, the number in front. 12 does divide by 2, so we're just going to call that 6. 3 does not divide by 2. It does not simplify, so we slide it on over, and we'd get a 2x plus 3. All right, hopefully you're kind of getting the hang of this, seeing how it works. All right, same thing. So we're going to multiply 3 times the negative 8. It's negative 24. We're going to add together to get a positive 2. So one's going to be positive, one's going to be negative. All right, and that would be what, 6 and 4? And we'd have to have a 6 and a negative 4. So we got an x plus 6 and an x minus 4. But we have to take that one extra step. We divided everything by 3 because that's the number in front. 6 does divide by 3. 6 divided by 3 is 2. We're going to leave it like that. 4 does not divide by 3. It does not simplify, so we slide it on over. Make that a 3x minus 4. Okay. So remember, with factoring, we do a lot of practice problems. See if you guys need, get the hang of it. So you got a couple example problems there for you guys to try out online. And we're pretty much wrapping up the section. If you guys need any additional help, just let me know. But if not, thanks for watching. Have a good one.